I want you to note, I need you to note that President Kennedy, it wasn't like he got on the national news and started talking about how much he supports civil rights. He quietly sends federal marshals. Now, you might say, Mr. Beavers, actions speak louder than words. Sure, yeah, you're right. At the very least, he didn't leave the Freedom Riders, to themselves. He helped protect them, eventually. Here's the point, though. JFK talked a big game. But when it came down to it, he's still dragging his feet a little bit. Let me give you an example. During the 1960 election, JFK said, I will end housing discrimination with the stroke of a pen. Now, here's what that means. That means that he's saying the Federal Housing Administration, FHA, segregates, gives loans to blacks at a lesser rate than whites for housing. JFK said, I will sign an executive order as soon as I get into office. It literally says, with the stroke of a pen, I will end housing discrimination. Well, we get into 1961, and he doesn't do anything. We get into 1962, and he hasn't done anything with housing. Most historians say that what JFK was doing was waiting for the midterm elections of 1962 to make sure that he could keep a strong Democratic majority in Congress. And then he would be willing to stick his neck out. Your textbook says that he, quote, played it safe. It's one thing to send federal marshals down to protect these African American freedom riders, and white freedom riders too, when they're getting bombs thrown at them. That's making national news. You've got to do something, right? But it's another thing when he promises to end housing discrimination with the stroke of a pen, and then he doesn't end housing discrimination with the stroke of a pen. He just doesn't. So civil rights organizers afterwards said, okay, maybe JFK just has not found the right pen yet to sign away discrimination in housing with the stroke of a pen. So they started what was called the Ink for Jack campaign, Jack being a nickname for John F. Kennedy. Ink for Jack campaign, where they mailed tons of pens to the White House, basically saying, hey, you don't have a pen to sign away housing discrimination? Here's a pen. Here's the pen. He waited until after the midterm elections, when he kept the Democratic majority, to end housing discrimination. Let's see if after this freedom rides, he gets more courageous.